Hello and welcome to the BUCS Nationals. You join us here at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield ahead of day one of the National Indoor Student Athletics Championships. This is part of 8 sports across 6 venues in this fantastic sporting city. And we get underway with the men's 60 metres in a little under 10 minutes time. Got a great few days of athletics. We hope that you'll be joining us throughout. We'll be concentrating our attention mainly on the track events, but I'll be bringing you results from the field as and when I get them too. As I mentioned, this is a huge operation. We're really looking forward to a great weekend of sport and a great weekend of track and field here at the EIS. But before we get underway, we'd like to say a huge thank you to our sporting partners. BUCS Nationals are supported by 4 sporting partners: Cookery, Outgoing, Camp America and Ashaway. BUCS' longest serving partner, Cookery, have launched a brand new kit range. Check out the most innovative, fashion-forward sportswear they have ever produced. Take a look at this. Well, it's a bustling metropolis of action here at the English Institute of Sport. You can see the jump pit there, some triple jumpers going through some preparations ahead of their competition later on today. But we do kick off with the men's 60 metres. That'll begin at 1 p.m. in around about 8 minutes time. We've then got the women's 60 metres. We've got some 60-metre hurdles after that, which will take us all the way up to 4:15 when we have the heats of the 800 metres men. Our first finals, well, they'll be at 20 to 7. It's quite a long session today, 8 hours in total, but we will be crowning BUCS champions in 60 metres for men and women, and in the hurdles competition as well. No, no surprise. Got someone from Loughborough there, spotted the camera. They do love it. They'll be hoping to do a lot better on the athletics track today than they've been doing in BUCS Super Rugby, where they sit 9th out of 10 in that competition. But traditionally, a couple of the sports we've got on offer this weekend, athletics and swimming, is where they really excel, where they can really take their stranglehold on the BUCS Championship, where they're undefeated in both the men's and women's competition in well over 30 years. So a little bit of background on this fantastic National Championships weekend. Of course, we have the athletics competition, and I mentioned the swimming, but there's also badminton, fencing, judo, karate, climbing and rifle shooting, all as part of the BUCS Nationals in this fantastic sporting city of Sheffield. "13 heats in the men's 60 metres competition, and this is how they'll line up in the first one. Timmy and Skirvin from Liverpool, John Moores in lane 1. That'll be the furthest lane away from our camera angle. Jordan Gill of Chichester in 2. Lewis Brace from over the border in Cardiff in 3. Ori Akin Malayan from Leicester, about an hour down the road from Sheffield, in 4. Next to him in 5 is Noah Lamont from Portsmouth. And from Northumbria in 6, Declan Murray. Hussein Amari from Manchester Met is in 7. And Kessie Oladoy from London is in lane 8. Then in Heat 2, Fabio Porto from Southampton, Solent from Gloucestershire, Dan Boyd goes in 2, Cameron George of Manchester in 3, Michael Olsen of Loughborough in 4, Jack Major from Leeds Beckett in 5, Andrew Smith from Robert Gordon in 6, Aston Lockwood Portsmouth in 7. The 60-metre indoor record was set by Ron Pierre from Brunel University way back in 2010. 6.67 seconds over 60 metres. Remarkable time from Rion, and that stood for Well, nigh on a decade. This is the 10th year of that record. Let's see if any of these athletes can come close to it today. As I said, 13 heats in all, and lots of talent on display. They'll be getting underway in around about 5 minutes' time.
And the men now out on the track for heat 1 of 13. In the men's 60 metres.
Welcome to the EIS in Sheffield. This is the BUCS National Indoors, and those athletes are the first to be running in the competition today. The top 32 will advance by time, so as soon as results are confirmed I'll bring them to you, but we've got 13 heats in total.
Taking place across the venues in and around Sheffield. 2019.
Well, we've got nobody in lane 1, so Timmy and Skirvin was due to race. His lane is empty, so lining up in the blue vest with the white and yellow trim from Chichester is Jordan Gill. Next to him in 3, just starting or rehearsing his start, Lewis Brace from Cardiff. Just coming out of the blocks there in 4 is Ori Akinmolayan from Leicester. In 5, Noah Lamont from Portsmouth. Declan Murray from Northumbria goes in 6. Hussein Amari, Manchester Met, will go in 7. Kessie Oladoy from London will go in lane 8, which is the lane closest to you. These are the BUCS Nationals Athletics Championships, and there is confirmation of the competitors in Heat 1. Termian Skirvin from Liverpool John Moores has not made his way to the start blocks, so unless I receive additional information, he will not be competing in these National Indoor Championships. Just about a full house here. There's a stand on the home straight. When we go into the 200-metre track, we might be able to see it, but a great turnout. Lots of athletes, lots of colours, lots of universities. My commentary position. It's about 10 metres from the finish line on this 60-metre straight. And looking down at the start line, there'll be no Declan Murray from Northumbria either. Couple of empty lanes in this one, making it difficult for Amari in 7 and Oladoy in 8. This is Heat 1, and we are away first time. An excellent start from Jordan Gill, but coming through in lane 8, Oladoy takes the first heat. And that'll be 6 point something. I'd imagine we're going to have a lot of athletes in that time, and it's going to be incredibly tight. Remember, only the top 32 will advance. And we have 13 pretty full heats. Excellent start from Jordan Gill from Chichester, but he was overwhelmed by Oladoy in lane 8 from London. And that man in the purple jersey, number 55, takes the first heat.
The winner's time in that opening is
Well, as the athletes from Heat 1 take a well-earned rest, it's a sea of purple down there for Heat number 2. Fabio Porto in 1 from Southampton Solent. From Gloucestershire, Dan Boyd goes in 2. Cameron George from Manchester in 3. From Loughborough, Michael Olsen in the middle, lane 4. In lane 5, Jack Major from Leeds Beckett. Robert Gordon's Andrew Smith goes in lane 6. And from Portsmouth in 7, it is Aston Lockwood. Again, a couple of empty lanes in this one. Got 7 athletes down there for the 8 lanes. Aston Lockwood from Portsmouth will be on the outside in 7, so nobody in lane 8 for this second heat after Kisi Oladoy took the opening heat from London. Michael Olsen in the headband there, really rigorously checking his starting blocks in the African Violet of Loughborough. Cameron George to his left, a lot more composed in the Manchester colours. As they're called to the line, this is Heat 2 of 13 in the men's 60 metres qualifiers. Again, away first time, and it's a great start from Michael Olsen from Loughborough. He is romping home. All that rigorous checking of the start blocks was well worth it. 6.88 for Michael Olsen of Loughborough. He takes the second heat. A wonderful start to the day for Michael Olsen, romping home. 6.88, the unofficial time. That's the fastest of the day so far.
6.88 confirmed as the winner's time.
And that has been confirmed as well. Jack Major from Leeds Beckett finishing quite some distance behind the winner. 6.88 should definitely be enough to take Michael Olsen through to the next round. 6.67, still that BUCS record set way back in 2010 by Rion Pierre. And this is how they'll line up for Heat 3. Matthew Backhouse from Warwick in lane 1. Mihir Dodia from Southampton in 2. Sean Crowey from the University of Central Lancashire in 3. James Peacock, Sussex in 4. James Walden, Cambridge in 5. Ayomide Akingbehin of Kent in 6. Keno Elliott, Paris Samuel, St Mary's Twickenham in 7. And Femi Awe from Oxford Brookes in lane 8. Somewhat of a delay in getting these racers to the start line. Jam-packed schedule today. We'll be bringing you every race right up until the day finishes. The last race of the day is the 60 metres hurdle final for women. That's due to start at 7:05. But loads of heats to get through here. We've got over 100 entries in the men's 60 metres, 87 in the women's, and then 30 and 39 respectively in the hurdles too. So lots of sprinting to come in this opening session. And there's live streaming of lots of other action as well. We'll be heading over to Ponds Forge to cover the swimming as well. Legendary Ponds Forge. And now here come the athletes for heat number 3. In lane 1, furthest away from you, Matthew Backhouse. He's running for Warwick. Mihir Dodia is next to him. He's in the maroon of Southampton. Sean Crowe from University of Central Lancashire. Other side of the Pennines, he's in 3. James Beacott, Sussex in 4. James Walden, Cambridge is in 5. Ayomide Akinbehin of Kent in 6. Keno Elliott Paris Samuel of St Mary's goes in lane 7. And closest to us in lane 8, just placing his starting blocks in place, Femi Arway of Oxford Brookes. Kessie Oludoi won heat 1. He's running for University of London. Michael Olsen Loughborough took heat 2 from lane 4, bang in the middle. Really led that out from the start. Just out of your shot, the first field event has begun. It's the men's triple jump. I'll be keeping an eye on that for you and bringing you the results as and when I get them. But for now, we're going to keep all of our attention on the qualifiers for the 60 metres men's competition. This is heat 3 of 13. These 8 aiming to be in the top 32 who qualify for the next round.
Amongst the entries in this figures from the 20 men who have gone the sub 7 seconds. Only 8 lanes below the final.
Away we go. That's a fantastic start in lane 3 from Sean Crowe, but coming through with a massive finish in lane 7. Keno Elliott Paris Samuel really had to work hard for that one. 7 on the nose. Not as quick as Michael Olsen, but should be quick enough to qualify for Paris Samuel in that striped blue and white of St Mary's Twickenham. Big smile on his face as well. He enjoyed that run, but had to work for it. Sean Crowe flew out of the blocks. But Keno Elliott Paris Samuel with 7 flat takes heat 3.
She came in. Oh, yeah. Who does Henry think he is? He's up there in the clip. He's up there in the clip. He's got his promo. This guy thinks he's Ben Affleck. This guy thinks he's... This is what Kenny was saying.
And full 7 athletes.
I think they had that block
Adjustments to the blocks. That's not you.
Never will be there when the laugh stops.
And in lane 1, representing Manchester University.
Straight back to it for heat number 4. Again, nobody in lane 8 for this one. Rory Goodman of Winchester in that navy vest with the white and red trim. Next to him, Miles Chrysostomou of Newcastle. Gavin Irvin of Aberdeen goes in 3. Ryan Kyle, Harriet Watt in 4, Harry Ashcroft, London School of Economics in 5, Mahmoud Barry from Imperial in 6, Nicholas Walsh of Derby in lane 7. A real representation here. Lane 5 and 6 from London, Harriet Watt and Aberdeen. It's a long way down to Sheffield from there. Still the quickest time registered in qualifiers. Michael Olsen, 6.88 in heat number 2. Kessie Oladoy went under 7 seconds as well. Keno Elliott, Paris Samuel won heat 3 in 7 seconds flat. Top 32, remember, in time, by time. Going through to the next round as one of the officials tells all of these athletes enough's enough and they need to get back to the start line, so we've got lots of sprints to get through. This is heat 4 of 13 in the men's 60 meters preliminary.
So almost ready for our 4 feet.
I've got no idea what's happening.
Like some people. Yeah, literally. It would have been less effort, just do the same. Yeah.
Scouting for a place.
Heat 4, Goodman in 1, Chrysostomu in 2, Irvin 3, Kyle 4, Ashcroft 5, Barry 6, Walsh 7. He's on the outside as lane 8 is empty. Again, we are away first time. Barry in lane 6 flies out of the blocks, but here comes Walsh from Derby in 7. He'll take it in 7.03. Barry pipped on the line. A superb finish on the outside by Nicholas Walsh. There is your winner. Doesn't look too happy with the time, but as the winner of the heat, should be enough to take him through. They're all still chasing Michael Olsen's 6.88. But a good run. He looked stuck in the blocks. But when the man inside you, Mahmoud Barry in his case, flies out in that way, then you've got a man to catch and then a man to beat on the line as well. There's your winner of Heat 4, Nicholas Walsh.
And so through our 5th heat, in lane 1 from Sheffield University.
On to heat number 5. Emma Mead from Sheffield, local athlete, knows this track well. He's in 1. From London Met, Oliver Bromby is to his right in 2. Dan Banks, Gloucestershire, goes in 3. Michael Jones, Nottingham, in 4. Alex Parkinson, Birmingham, 5. William Hurd, Oxford, 6. Ernest Chow, East Anglia, is in 7. And closest to us from De Montfort in Leicester, Luke Coles goes in 8.
Alex Parkinson is 6 from Oxford University. William Hurd is 7 from East Anglia University. Ernest Chow.
Got a full track this time. Those lanes closest to us, closest to the crowd, have had joy so far. Kessie Oladoy, he took heat 1 out of lane 8. Heat 3 was taken by Keno Elliott Paris Samuel. He was in lane 7. Nicholas Walsh also in lane 7, but with an empty lane 8, took heat 4. Michael Olsen, though, the fastest time of the day, 6.88 seconds. He ran that out of lane 4. But this is heat 5 of the 60-metre men. This should take us through till about 10 past 2 when we move on to the 60-metre ambulant men's competition before moving into the women's and then the hurdles. Mead in 1, Bromby 2, Banks 3, Jones 4, Parkinson 5, Hurd 6, Chow 7, Coles 8. Well, Jones has twitched out of the blocks there. But were they called up due to the man who's ready for the triple jump just out of your shot? Keep your eye on that official at the top of your screens there in the red. Is he going to produce a red card? No, they were called up simultaneously, the triple jump and the 60-metre sprint running. So up goes the green card. So no technical offence has been committed, and all 8 sprinters will be able to compete in this heat. Twitchy moments, though. And we reset for heat 5 of 13. Emma Mead from Sheffield is in 1. Looking for a good start here to book his place in the next round of what's essentially a home competition for him. Oh, there was a false start this time. Was it Parkinson in lane 5? Well, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on the starter this time. Luke Coles from De Montfort stamped his feet. Does he think he's the guilty party, or is he just frustrated? But Alex Parkinson, Birmingham, looking to the skies here. It's a long and drawn-out process as well. I think the guilty party needs to try and look as not guilty as possible. Here's the starter, digging for his red card. Emma Mead just trying to keep those hamstrings stretched. And now they wait, wait, and wait. Alex Parkinson, though, firmly, eyes transfixed on the floor. Does he know that his day's over? Here comes the card. And it is Alex Parkinson from Birmingham, shown the yellow card. Well, Alex Parkinson's been given a lease of life here, just the yellow card, and he's going to be able to start the race. So let's run down again. Mead in 1, Bromby 2, Banks 3, Jones 4, Parkinson 5, Hurd 6, Chow 7, Coles 8, and we are away finally. And Ernest Chow going very well, but coming right the way through from London Met in lane 2. Oliver Bromby 6.97. Breaking that 7-second barrier. Becomes the 4th to do it today, and eventually we get through. Ernest Chow flew out of lane 7, but Bromby finished a lot stronger than he started, and he books his place in the next round.
Oliver Bromby, lifetime best of 6.73, which he ran in 2016 when he took the England under-20 title here. He has a season's best this year, 6.88. And so to heat 6 of the 13. In lane 1, representing Exeter University, Matt Johnson. In lane 2 from Leeds University, Obed Echo. In 3 from Durham University, Jack Whitney. In 4, representing Strathclyde University, he was 3rd at the Scottish University Championships last year, Christian Christoph. In 5 from Bristol University, Johnny White. In 6.
Well, after that little bit of fun in heat 5, we move on to heat 6. Just confirming the rules there with the yellow card, because I fully expected Alex Parkinson to be given his marching orders, but instead we march on to heat 6 of 13. From Exeter, Matthew Johnson goes in 1. Obed Bakoe of Leeds goes in 2. Jack McNichol Durham in 3. Christian Christoph from Strathclyde in 4. Johnny White Bristol 5. Eden Davis East London 6. Jake Woodman from Nottingham Trent in 7. And Francis Tumasi of Manchester Met, just practicing his start for the final time, goes in lane 8. And there is the lineup. Johnson, Exeter in 1. Bakoe Leeds in 2. McNichol Durham 3. Christoph Strathclyde 4. In 5, Johnny White from Bristol. From East London in 6 is Eden Davis. Jake Woodman, Nottingham Trent, goes in 7. And closest to us in the blue and orange of Manchester Met, we have Francis Tumasi. Heat number 6. Fastest time of the day still Michael Olsen, 6.88, way back in heat 2. But it is the top 32 through to the next round.
I'm here with a spanner and some WD-40 myself usually.
So casting our eyes down to the start line, Christian Christoph from Strathclyde has not made the start of the race. So that'll be an empty lane. Johnny White will have nobody to his left. Jack McNichol, nobody to his right. McNichol there, hands on hips, socks pulled up to his knees. Matthew Johnson gets into the blocks. There are a few delays on the start line because the triple jump is running simultaneously to the 60-metre qualifiers.
We have a TNS in lane 4, Christian Scott, Strathclyde TNS.
And now that jump has been completed. These sprinters will be called to the start blocks. Remember, no Christian Christoph. Lane 4 empty. Heat number 6 of 13. And we do get away first time, and in lane 6, Eden Davis has had a great start. So has Johnson in lane 1, but it's going to be lane 6 that takes it. Eden Davis from East London. 6.90 seconds for him, so he goes second quickest on the day, does Eden Davis. And what a race. I think anybody in and around that 6.9 seconds is going to be there or thereabouts when we come to the final later on. It's quite a busy day sprint-wise. If you're going to win this 60-metre competition, then you've got to win 3 races to get there. We've got the semi-finals later. And then, of course, the final. So quite a lot of waiting around, quite a lot of warming up, warming down again. 6.9, a great start. 6.67, still that BUCS record. But that man in the number 29 jersey is your second fastest qualifier of the day so far, Eden Davis.
Yeah, but we haven't got strength and depth now, so our best some of our runners aren't doing it. So just doing it for the balance. But still gonna do it. Yeah, we might have semis in it. Apparently.
It's 30 athletes, and they say that
And in Heat 7, we have Robert Young, Glasgow Caledonian, lane 7 DNS through the lineup. In lane 1, from Nottingham Trent University, Chris Castro Neto. In 2, from Liverpool University, Greg Venue. In 3, representing Middlesex University, John Adeduji Johnson. In lane 4, representing St Mary's University, a man who's gone sub 7 seconds, best of 6.79, Brandon Murray. In lane 5, from Brighton University, Bryn Smith. In 6, representing Oxford University, Ivo Andrews. And that completes the lineup.
Couple of empty lanes in heat number 7 then. Christopher Castro Neto from Trent in that hot pink in lane 1. Greg Venio, Liverpool in 2. Adedeji Johnson from Middlesex in 3. Murray, St Mary's in 4. Bryn Smith, Brighton in 5. Ivar Andrews, Oxford in 6. Lane 7 and lane 8 are empty, so there'll be no start for Glasgow Caledonians. Robert Young, heat 7. Oh, a false start there. Brandon Murray from St Mary's in that blue and white striped vest looked to have got out particularly quickly. He was certainly the fastest over the first 10 meters. But was it him who twitched? We've had one yellow card, which isn't something I've seen for quite some time. So was Brandon Murray the guilty party? It's always interesting seeing body language. Adedeji Johnson, he knows he hasn't done anything wrong. The twitchiest there is Murray from St Mary's. We've got Castro Nato furthest away, and the green card goes up, and with that Brandon Murray puts his tongue out. Has he got away with one? Well, he gets to race again, but will that be playing on his mind after that lightning start to heat number 7? So no Young in lane 7. Nobody was ever in lane 8. Just the 6 of these. The green card goes up. Everyone gets a second bite at the cherry. And we go again. Christopher Castro Nato in 1. Venio 2. Adedeji Johnson 3. Murray 4. Bryn Smith 5. Ivo Andrews 6. And once again, Murray gets away quickly and pulls away as well. Adedeji Johnson thought about reeling him in, but Brandon Murray's going to take this one in 6.97 seconds as well. Didn't have that questionable false start in his mind whatsoever, and he qualifies in under the 7-second barrier. Great run from St Mary's, Brandon Murray.
You have just been reminded very politely by Adrian, follow the protocol and which way to walk. There are a great many athletes that unfortunately are not following that protocol. Can you please make sure you do? It is for your own safety and all the other athletes' safety.
Heat number 8. Demetrius Rydos from London School of Economics in 1. Jack McGlenigan Sterling in 2. From the Sheffield College is Regan O'Connell in 3. James Warhurst of Bristol goes in 4. Alkali Jamay, University West of Scotland in 5. Daniel Oderinde of Middlesex in 6. Pierre Walker, King's College 7. And Robbie Farquhar from Robert Gordon goes in lane 8. A full house in heat 8 of the men's preliminaries.
So, we come to heat 8 of the 30. In lane 1, from the London School of Economics, Demetrius Rydos. In 2, from Stirling University, Jack McCann. In lane 3, from Sheffield College, a sub-7-second lane, light up 6.96. Regan O'Connell. In lane 4 from Bristol University, James Warhurst. In lane 5 from the University West of Scotland, Alkali Jamay. In 6 from Middlesex University, we have Daniel Oderinde. In lane 7 from King's College London, Pierre Walker. And in 8 from Robert Gordon.
Well, we've had a bit of fun on the start. Couple of false starts, but nobody's been disqualified yet. We've had a couple of restarts as well. The green card's gone up on a number of occasions. But now the whistle goes and heat 8 are called to the line. Rydos in 1, McGlenigan 2, O'Connell 3, Warhurst 4, Jamay 5, Oderinde 6, Walker 7, Farquhar 8. start before Odorinde starts to pull through. It's a lovely race to the line between O'Connell and Odorinde. Both go under 7 seconds. 6:9.4 is the official time. To my eyes, Odorinde just took that, but O'Connell will be there or thereabouts as well for the Sheffield College, the local runner. Excellent race, the tightest we've had so far, but Odorinde takes it 6.94, another under that 7-second barrier. God, this is shaping up to be a great day's sprinting.
In heat 9, off the 13, men 16. So we do have an athlete in lane 1 from University College London, Agif Navala. In lane 2 from Leicester University, Tinashe Mokwashi. In 3 from Sheffield University, Abbas Hemo. In 4 from Cardiff University, Josh Lethard. In 5 from Bath University.
We continue with the heats, the preliminary heats in the men's 60-metre championship. If you're just joining us, a very warm welcome to the English Institute of Sport. These are the BUCS Nationals, and you join us at the Athletics, one of 8 sports across 6 venues in this fabulous sporting city of Sheffield. We're here Friday, Saturday and Sunday, but you can catch some live sporting action across the other sports as well. Let's take a look at the lineup for Heat 9. Agith Navalan from University of Central London goes in 1. Tinashe Mukwashi from Leicester in 2. Abbas Nemo, Sheffield Hallam in 3. Joshua Leathard, Cardiff in 4. Ben Matsuka Williams, Bath in 5. Loughborough's Christian Jones in 6. Alexander Marsden of Birmingham City in 7. And from Southampton Solent in 8 is Samuel Rutherford. 6.88, still the fastest time we've had today. Still 5 heats to go, including this one. Lane 1 the furthest away from you, lane 8 the closest. Well, an excellent start in lane 6 from Christian Jones, and he pulls away, looks relaxed as well, does Jones. 6.90 for the man from Loughborough. And that is as relaxed a sprint as we've seen today. Took it away from Matsuka Williams there, who was the first to congratulate him. Still 0.002 behind his teammate Michael Olsen, but the Loughborough sprinters setting the benchmark so far in these qualifiers. Christian Jones takes it 6.90.
I won't necessarily be here all the time. People have to go out to check. The other alternative is to give it to the physio. Yeah.
Four heats of this remaining as the athletes go to the start line to go through their final preparations. Thomas Roberts of Chester goes on the far side in lane 1 from Goldsmith. Topi Adiaye in 2. Owusu Mantley from Exeter in 3. And in the middle for Durham, Jonathan Bull goes in 4. Saleh Sumro, University Central London, goes in 5. Ogahori of Kent in 6, and Max Heavens from Swansea goes in lane 7. Evans in 7. Who'd have thought today?
And in lane 6 from Sheffield University.
Each of these aiming to post a time in the top 32, which will be enough to qualify them for the next round. It's getting very clustered around that 7 seconds mark, but if you can get under that, then you'll all but guarantee yourself a place in the latter stages. The men's semi-finals are due to start around about 5:30, maybe a touch later. And then the final scheduled for 10 to 7. So a busy day. Thomas Roberts from Chester, not in lane 1. So that's Topi Adeyeye furthest away in the purple and gold of Goldsmiths. Lane 1 and lane 8 empty. Well, we've had a few problems at the start line early on today, with so many races to get through, so many things happening simultaneously. There's bound to be a few interruptions. But Brandon Murray from St Mary's, after his race was interrupted, still posted a time of 6.97. The yellow card warning shown there. Max Evans from Swansea was the recipient. But everyone gets to go again. Let's check the starting blocks. Day in 2, Owusu Manti in 3, Bull 4, Sumro 5, Ogori in 6, Evans in 7. And we do get away this time. Evans has got a great start, but Ogori is coming back. But over on the far side in lane 2, Adeyeye from Goldsmith takes it, and he does get under that 7-second barrier. 6.99 for Topi Adeyeye. The race between Ogori and Evans caught our attention on this near side, but the whole time Topi Adeyeye was powering through, and Goldsmith's number 39 takes heat number 10 in 6.99 seconds, joining Christian Jones, Daniel Oderinde, Brandon Murray, Eden Davis, Oliver Bromby, Michael Olsen and Kisi Oludoyi in winning their heats in under 7 seconds.
And so the 11th of the 13 heats men's history in lane 1 from Nottingham University, Tom Hughes. In lane 2 from Newcastle University, Sam Jones. Then in lane 3, representing Brunel University, British University's 100-metre bronze medalist last year, second at the intervarsity match, and he's looking to make his 3rd consecutive 60-metre final here at the EIS. Luke Dollar. In lane 4 from Staffordshire University, Nick Price.
Heat number 11 of 13. We've flown through these, 10 down, 3 to go. And let's take a look at the starters for this heat number 11. Thomas Hughes of Nottingham goes in 1. Sam Jones, Newcastle in 2. Luke Durrell, Brunel in 3. Nicholas Price, Staffordshire in 4. Obina Ezi, King's College in 5. Ross Freck, Aberdeen in 6. Freddie Osley, Birmingham in 7. Olayinka Sobomiwa from Southampton goes in lane 8. So a full house. There is Sobomiwa just to the left of your shot, in that maroon and gold of Southampton. Next to him, Freddie Osley from Birmingham. They've adapted their kit over the years. They look a lot less like dressed parrots these days, the Birmingham University athletes. Got Albina Ezi there of Kings with it emblazoned across his chest. And then Nicholas Price from Staffordshire, black top, red shorts in lane 4. Not had many winners out of those middle lanes in these heats so far. 6:88, the fastest qualification time so far. 6:67, the BUCS 60-metre record. Oh, and a late second gun. They were away and running, nearly 15-20 metres into that race. We've had a couple of false starts, no red card awarded so far, a couple of yellows, and everyone's been allowed to restart the race. Now, to the bottom left of your shots, you can't see this, but there's a real gathering of the Brains Trust. 3 or 4 red-shirted officials all having a conversation. Wasn't obvious who got away particularly quickly. Freddie Osley is really growing into the race. Sprints with those long strides, so traditionally not the fastest out of the blocks. Got Nicholas Price, a lot more of a compact sprinter. We'd expect him to start quickly. And there are the starters. Pretty hefty starters pistol there. Looks like something out of the Wild Wild West. But we're far enough away for it not to frighten me as it does at some events. Especially at Loughborough, it rattles round the tin and steel of the indoor centre there. A lot more civilised here in Sheffield. Well, with that, we have had a disqualification. Luke Durrell from Brunel. Can see the red card stuck in the number 3 there. He is the first casualty of today's games. So with Durrell disqualified, who gets away quickly? Well, in the middle there it is, Nicholas Price, but growing into it, Freddie Osley pulls up. Oh, Osley was in the lead, but the hamstring goes. And Nicholas Price of Staffordshire takes that heat, 7.05. Those long strides of Freddie Osley, we thought they'd be enough to get him over the line. Albina Ezi looks like he's pulled up as well, so a couple of casualties there. Ezi from King's College, Freddie Osley, number 5, limped over the line, but Nicholas Price in the black and red of Staffordshire, a pretty gnarly pair of socks as well, takes it. Well, that's a tough one for Osley. He doesn't look particularly uncomfortable now, just slightly limping on that right leg, but that's a horrible moment for any sprinter. But Price take it, 7.05, not the quickest heat, but a time that should get him through to the latter stages of the competition.
And in lane 1 from Bath University, then in lane 2,
this is the penultimate heat before we move on to the ambulant competition. Talal Alami of Bath goes in 1, Jonah Efaloku, East London in 2, Bryce Lim, Cambridge in 3. Oyusa Asawe from Coventry in 4. Blake Brown, Cardiff Met in 5, Nathan Prothero, East Anglia 6, Matthew Williamson, Leeds in 7, and Emmanuel Obi, Oxford Brookes in 8. Jonah Efaloko of East London, the overwhelming favourite for this one. World champion over 200 metres. It's much shorter today, but that speed, that power, we expect that to carry through today. Heat 12 of 13 in the men's 60 metres.
And completing the line in lane 8 from Oxford Brookes, Emmanuel Obi. Heat 12 of 13, men's 60.
And they set Efaloco in 2 in that blue jersey. Bryce Lim from Cambridge. It's going to look to stick on his shoulder. 6.88, still the fastest qualification time. Oh, and another second gun. That's the 4th heat where the starters have pulled them back. We've only had 1 disqualification so far. It came in the last race. Luke Durrell from Brunel was the one who missed out. Nicholas Price ended up taking it in 7.05. We have had a couple of racers who are a little bit luckier. And again, that group of starters will assess the damage and award cards corresponding to the decision that they've made. We had a couple of yellows, we've had plenty of greens, but just the 1 red. Have a look at the start line. Who looks guilty? They're all stood stock still. They'd be great in a lineup, and I wouldn't fancy playing poker against any of them. Bryce Lim from Cambridge. Maybe he's a little bit too still. Luiosa Osawe next to him in the colours of Coventry. He's looking over there. Is he feeling a bit guilty? And with that, Efaloco decides to go for a bit of a walk. Well, it is the yellow card. Who's it being awarded to? Matthew Williamson from Leeds gets the yellow card, but it does mean he'll get to run his race. Again, another yellow card. Thought they were a thing of the past. And we are away this time. It's a great start from Efaloco in lane 2, but coming through is Osawe from Coventry. But Efaloco eases off 6.95. Practically speed walked over the line as well. That's a real statement from Jonah Efaloco. He takes heat 12 of 13 with a time 6.95.
And I think it was Osawe of Coventry who followed Jonah Efaloco across the line. He'll have to see whether his time is good enough to getting through to the next round. And so shortly we will have the 13th of the 13 heats in the men's 60. There will then be a slight pause in the heat programme because the heats of the men's ambulance 60, of which there are 2, is due at 14:10. The lineup for this last heat of the men's 60. In lane 1 from Sheffield University, Mike DeMoore. In 2, representing Edinburgh University, Luke Brown. Then in lane 3, representing Cardiff Metropolitan University, the reigning Welsh champion, and he took the time of 6.87, Aaron Owen. In lane 4, from Strathclyde University, we have Fraser Angus, the reigning Scottish under-20 champion. In 5, from Sheffield Hallam, Josh Sampson. In 6, from Swansea University, Joseph Jones. In 7, representing Brunel University, he was a semi-finalist.
This is the final heat of the men's 60 metres. Michael Damoa from Sheffield goes in 1. Luke Browning from Edinburgh goes in 2. Aaron Owen, Cardiff Met, goes in 3. Fraser Angus, Strathclyde in 4. Joshua Sampson, Sheffield Hallam in 5. In 6, Joseph Jones from Swansea. Daniel Afire, Brunel goes in 7. Stephen O'Hara, Manchester in 8.
Would competitors in the men's ambulance 60 metres please report to the call? Men's ambulance 60 metres to the call, please.
Well, the goalposts haven't changed. It's the top 32 from all 13 heats, ranked by time, not position in their race, will book their place in the next round of the men's 60-metre sprint. And as a guideline, if you go under 7 seconds, you're going to the next round. Nearly half of these heats have had a second start, but only one has resulted in a disqualification. Michael Demoa from Sheffield over on the far side. He's the last into position. Oh, what a start that is from Daniel Afire. They're trying to reel him in, but he was fresh out of the block. 6.95 again. Daniel Afire led from the start of that race. There was some fight back there from Aaron Owen from Cardiff Met, but Daniel Afire, wearing number 12 from Brunel, takes the 13th and final heat in 6.95. That'll be enough to take him through to the next round. Explosive stuff from the Brunelian. As soon as I get the confirmed results, I will bring them to you, but I can tell you the winners of each heat who will definitely progress. Kisi Oladuyi took heat number 1. Michael Olsen Loughborough 6.88. He took heat number 2, and that's the fastest qualification time. Kino Elliott Paris Samuel took 3 in 7 seconds. Nicholas Walsh 7.03 took 4. Oliver Bromby 6.97 took 5. It was Eden Davis's 6.9 took heat 6 in 7. It was Brandon Murray's 6.97. It was 6.94 for Daniel Odorinde in 8. In heat 9, it was Christian Jones's 6.9. In heat 10, Topi Adeyeye took it in 6.99. Then the slowest winning heat time was heat 11, Nicholas Price in 7.05. Jonah Efaloku eased off the gas to take heat 12 in 6.95, and then with exactly the same time of 6.95, Daniel Afire took that 13th and final heat. There will now be a short break in proceedings on the track. The next event is the men's 60-metre ambulance competition. We'll be back shortly. If you're just joining us, a very warm welcome to Sheffield. This is the English Institute of Sport hosting the BUCS Indoor Athletics Championships 2019. We are one event down. The first event of the day, the 60 metres men's qualifiers. They'll now be crunching the numbers. The top 32 will go back to the semi-finals. They'll be welcomed back at about 5:30 this afternoon. The next event on the track is the 60-metre ambulance men. That'll be followed by the 60-metre women, and then we go on to the hurdles. So it's all about the fast boys and girls today. Meanwhile, on the field, not got any results yet, but there's men's triple jump and there's women's shot put as well, and the triple jump women later too. So a little bit quieter on the field today. They'll be finished about 6 o'clock. But we'll be back on the track in a few minutes' time with the ambulant men's 60 metres. We've got 2 heats in that one. Looking to qualify for the final a bit later on this evening. That's due on the track at 7:20. Top 8 advance by time with 10 competitors. That is going to be close as well. 2. are going to be leaving hearts broken, but 8 then will be contesting for 3 BUCS medals here at Sheffield. The next event is the men's 60-metre ambulance competition.
Well, just going to pause the music because we think, no, that was the royal wheel. Sandra has identified the top 32. This is unofficial. Please check the official list, but we think we're right.
Right, from B12, Jonathan Loco, Curioso Ozawi, and Brown. From 11, Nicholas Price. From 10, I've just had another new candidate to Richard. Bear with me one moment. Be back to you very shortly.
This is the BUCS National Indoor Athletics Championships 2019. We'll be bringing you action across every track race today. We've already had the men's 60 metres. It's the ambulant men's 60 metres coming up next. We've got 2 heats in that one. Still a few minutes away though, so do stick with us. We'll be bringing you every race throughout today, as I said, and throughout the weekend as well. This is part of the BUCS National Championships. 8 sports across 6 venues. We'll be back on track tomorrow as well. The first race at 10 o'clock. We've got some distance races, 1500s before we go into 400s and 800s. There's also a mascot race as well. I'm not entirely sure I'll be covering that one. Well, you never know. Depends if I get a start list or not. And then on Sunday, the final day of the championships, we've got 200s, 400s, 3000s. God, that's an interesting race on these short and 200-metre indoor tracks. And then some relays to finish as well. So a great weekend of indoor athletics too. But now it is time for the men's 60-metre ambulatory competition. We've got 2 preliminary heats, 6 in the first, 4 in the second. And the top 8 from both heats advance by time for an opportunity to race for a BUCS medal. So 5 competitors going in this first run. Nobody in 1 and 2. Or 8. So Joseph Strong goes in lane 3. He's in the colours of Nottingham in that green jersey, just stamping down his start blocks. In lane 5 there, we've got Zachary Skinner from Loughborough. So in between Strong and Skinner, we've got Fox. Then Joseph Gray from Manchester goes in 6. And Conrad Will from Oxford. He's there with the blonde hair and the blue jersey. He'll go in lane 7.
In 2018, it was silver. in the 100, 200 and 400 metres of skipping World Games, George Fox. In lane 5, representing Loughborough, he has represented Great Britain at the IPC Worlds in London in 2017 and at the World Para European Championships last year. He took gold here last year from Loughborough, Zach Skinner. In lane 6, representing Manchester University, a second man, Joe Gray, and in 7, representing Oxford University, and it's a delight to see him out there. He's got a lifetime best this season already of 7.76. He did not compete between 2014 and 16 and had just 2 competitions in 2017. Welcome back, Conrad Hill. Heat 1 of 2. Men's 60 metres.
Sprinters called to the line in heat 1 of 2 in the men's ambulatory 60 metres. Joseph Strong for Nottingham, furthest away from us in the green. George Fox, University Central Lancashire, next to him in the white. Zachary Skinner in the famous African Violet of Loughborough, bang in the middle in lane 5. Joseph Gray, capable of going under 7 seconds from Manchester in 6. And Conrad Will from Oxford recently ran a personal best of 7.76, goes in lane 7. Well, Zach Skinner flying through the middle. This a great run from him. Where's he going to stop the clock? 7.33. Excellent start to proceedings for Zach Skinner. Remember, the top 8 going through. So it'll only actually be now with 9 competitors. 1 who misses out. Originally we had 10. But that is a huge statement there from the Loughborough man. Zach Skinner, 7.33. But these athletes are from different para classifications, so depending on their classification, that is how their times will be worked out. So I'll wait for the maths on this one. Certainly not going to take a guess at it, but 8 of 9 will go through. The fastest over the line was Zach Skinner with 7.33. And as soon as I get confirmation on the actual results, I will bring them to you. So that was the first of 2 heats. Next up is men's 60-metre ambulatory heat number 2. And the athletes are already on the start line. So just 4 going in this one, occupying the middle lanes. Benjamin Fulston in the African Violet of Loughborough, furthest away from us. Next to him, in the royal blue of East London, is Jordan Andrew from Royal Holloway. Next to him, Holloway should I say, is Adam Owen. And then nearest to us in lane 6, just settling into his blocks there and practicing the start, is Christopher Stiles from Worcester.
He's had just 1 race over 60 metres in December of last year when he ran 8.12 and just 1 over 100 metres. So it's a pleasure to welcome Chris Stiles.
Heat number 2 of the men's 60-metre ambulatory. Benjamin Fulston of Loughborough goes in 3. Next to him, Jordan Andrew, East London, in 4. In 5, Adam Owen from Royal Holloway. In 6, from Worcester, Christopher Stiles. And we're away first time. Jordan Andrew cruising home in this one. Good race for second place that Fulston just about going to get for Loughborough. Everyone over the line. 7.52 is the fastest time, but again, they'll be recalculated depending on classification, and then 8 out of the 9 will go through. But all 9 safely home in the men's 60-metre ambulatory. Now the mathematics starts, and 8 of those will be competing for medals later on today. The final is due on the track at 18:40 local time. And that ends the men's 60 metres qualification. Next we move to the women's. 11 heats in total. And that is due to be on track in around about 5 minutes' time. We'll move on to the 60-metre women's competition.
Pull to the race to due to start at 2:30. They're allowed to use either the 11 or the 30-metre board. And the automatic qualification is 40 metres. So the results from the 2 pools will be put together, and the top 8 will progress to the final. Which is on Sunday at 11:55.
First heat of the women's 60 metres. Ellie Bandy from East Anglia in the black and yellow over on the far side. Next to her in lane 2, Darcy Kuipers from Brunel. Jordan Andrews from York St John goes in lane 3. Suzanne Palmer, Sheffield Hallam, local racer, goes in 4. In 5 from Surrey, Lauren Talbot. Leah Hilda Anderson from Exeter goes in 6. Yvette Westwood from Birmingham in 7. And Ailsa Marsh from Aberdeen goes in lane 8.
And just a reminder to our athletes, no water allowed on the infield at all. You must put your water bottles off the infield, please.
And so the lineup for this first heat of 10 in the women's 60 metres.
So this has now been reduced from 11 heats to 10 heats. 10 Jam-packed heats as well. We had real action and real drama in the men's competition. Plenty of false starts, only one red card awarded. But let's run you through these again. If you are just joining us, welcome to the BUCS Indoor Championships 2019. This is heat number 1 of the women's 60 meters competition. The top 24 will advance by time. So it doesn't matter if you come first or last in your heat. If you're quick enough, you're good enough to get through to the semi-finals. Montel Douglas is the joint record holder for these BUCS championships. It's been set 3 times actually. 7.31 Douglas set back in 2007. And then Adeline Guinan from St Mary's set it in 2016. And then in 2017, Hannah Breer, running for Loughborough, ran an identical time. Will any of these athletes come close to that in the latter stages today? Ellie Bandy in 1, furthest away from us. Darcy Kuipers in 2. Jordan Andrews from York St John in 3. Suzanne Palmer, Sheffield Hallam in 4. Lauren Talbot, Surrey in 5. Lee Hilda Anderson from Exeter in lane 6. Yvette Westwood in that red jersey of Birmingham in 7. And Ailsa Marsh, all in blue, from Aberdeen, closest to us in lane 8. Away first time and looking to set the benchmark time. Susan Palmer flies out of the blocks, but coming through for Brunel in lane 2, and in lane 7, Yvette Westwood from Birmingham. 7.6, they stopped the clock. It was close between those two. Kuipers, Andrews, Westwood, all putting on good displays, but 7.60 will be that benchmark time. The top 24 going through, 78 entering the competition, so competition pretty fierce. Yvette Westwood, Birmingham, has been awarded the win. 7.60 for her. She'll definitely be through to the next round, but who will be joining her? Next on the track, heat 2 of the women's 60 meters.
And so to heat 2 of the 10, in qualification, it will be the fastest 24 who go through to round 2, 3 races to decide the finalists. And in lane 1, in the second heat, representing Birmingham University, Hannah Jones from Manchester Metropolitan University. In lane 2, Layla Bell. In 3, from Cardiff University, Rebecca Roots. In 4, representing University West of England, Kirsty McBarnett. In 5,
heat number 2, the runners are as follows. In lane 1, from Birmingham is Hannah Jones. From Manchester Met in 2, Layla Bell. Croeso from Cardiff is Rebecca Roots. In 4, it's Kirsty McBarnett from West of England. Eloise Lewis of St Mary's goes in 5. Louisa Cole from University Central Lancashire goes in 6. Isla Gold at Sheffield in 7. Jasmine Moss, Northumbria 8. 7.60, the benchmark time set by Yvette Westwood from Birmingham in heat number 1. This is heat number 2. Again, their away first timer, Rebecca Roots from Cardiff, has started well, but Jasmine Moss from Northumbria in lane 8 takes it in 7.69. Not as quick as Westwood, but quick nonetheless. She was out in lane 8 on her own. She left Isla Golder behind, and Jasmine Moss from Northumbria takes heat number 2 in 7.69 seconds.
7.72, the official winning time.
That's now been rounded up to 7.72, but still Jasmine Moss out there on her own. And we go straight to heat number 3. Action coming thick and fast here. Sarah Malone already in place for Edinburgh. She's in lane 1. Sophie Thorpe, Newcastle, to her right in 2. Binta Nam from East London in 3. Abby Anson, Exeter, settles into her blocks in lane 4. Grace Lavelle, Northumbria in 5. Madupe Shokunbi of Brunel in 6. Hannah Williams Keel in 7. Opeyemi Oganaike of Liverpool is in 8. This is heat 3 of 10. Top 24 qualify for the women's 60 metres.
To this third heat of the 10. In lane 1, representing Edinburgh University, Sarah Malone. In 2, from Newcastle University, Sophie Thorpe. In 3, from the University of East London, Binta Nam. In 4, representing Exeter University, Abby Anson. In 5, from Northumbria University, Grace Lavelle. In 6, representing Brunel University. A finalist here last year, second at the recent intervarsity match, Madupe Shokunbi. In lane 7, she's in fine form. She set a lifetime best of 7.69 this year. Hannah Williams, representing Key. And in lane 8, from Liverpool University, Opeyemi Oganaike.
Well, the athletes ahead of heat 3, just waiting for a triple jumper. The men's triple jump going alongside the 60 metres. Difficult to do the two of them together. Let's run you through the competitors again. Sarah Malone, Edinburgh in 1. Sophie Thorpe, Newcastle 2. Binta Nam, East London 3. Abby Anson, Exeter 4. Grace Lavelle, Northumbria 5. Madupe Shokunbi, Brunel 6. Hannah Williams, Keel 7. Opeyemi Oganaike, Liverpool 8. Looking to book their place in the semi-finals, the women's semi-finals at 5 to 6 this evening. The finals at 5 to 7. These 8 going in heat 3. 7.60 the benchmark time from Yvette Westwood of Birmingham. And we are away first time. It's a great start in 6 from Shokunbi. She's going alongside Williams. It's going to be Shokunbi just takes it. Or does Williams duck down and get that on the line? Either way, it's 7.65, and I imagine we'll be seeing the two of them later in the competition. Madupe Shokunbi from Brunel and Hannah Williams shoulder to shoulder over the line. And both will book their place. The clock was stopped in 7.65 seconds.
7.66 confirmed.
Depends what your definition of long is, isn't it?
Wait, did you go to the track?
It's like an old man, I get hold of
This could be interesting. He's an old man now, remember, so he's still got it. Not over 15 minutes. I'm not that stupid.
Really?
Say at 10:30, you wouldn't let me near the numbers till 11 o'clock. You've got them all sitting there, 6 or 7 of them in there.
3 heats down, 7 to go in the women's 60 metres. Here come the athletes ahead of heat number 4. Last to the blocks is Lucy Hode from Bath. She goes in lane 1. Holly Skinner, Oxford in 2. Georgina Youlden, should I say, racing for York, goes in 3. Annabelle Cossins-Smith from Southampton in 4. Andrea Greaves from Oxford Brookes in 5. Kate Johnston-Sterling in 6. Lauren Tyrrell, Birmingham City in 7. Rebecca Lister from Leeds Beckett goes in lane 8.
In 2 from Oxford University, Holly Skinner. In 3, representing York University, Georgina Youlden. In 4, representing Southampton, Annabelle Cousins-Smith. In 5, from Oxford Brookes, Andrea Greaves. In lane 6, representing Stirling University, Scottish Under-20 silver medalist last year, arrived at Boston 7.82, Kate Johnston. In 7, from Birmingham City, Lauren Tyrrell. And in lane 8, representing Leeds Beckett, Rebecca Lister. P4 of 10.
Our lecturer always goes on our city.
I think Adam knows what's
And the triple jumps just started, and that's Jason Danke, 13:03.
Heat number 4 of the women's 60 metres. Lucy Hode from Bath over there in lane 1. In lane 2, Holly Skinner from Oxford, Georgina Youlden from York in 3, Annabelle Cossins-Smith, Southampton in 4, Andrea Greaves, Oxford Brookes in 5, Kate Johnston-Sterling in 6, Lauren Tyrrell, Birmingham City in 7, Rebecca Lister from Leeds Beckett goes in lane 8. And again, we're away first time, and Lucy Hode from Bath has got a great start, but Lauren Tyrrell from Birmingham City finishing strongly, but Hode takes it 7.91. Again, the leader comes home in under 8 seconds, but Yvette Westwood 7.60, still that benchmark qualification time. The top 24 going through, but no doubts who took heat number 4, Lucy Hode from Bath.
Apparently they're on the walls.
And so we come to the fifth of the 10 heats. In lane 1, representing Hertfordshire University. She is the reigning Southern 60-metre and 200-metre champion, set a lifetime best of 7.75 in the final at the Southern Championships. Paige Fairclough. Representing Sheffield, Hallam, and in lane 2, Ella Blakely. In 3, from London School of Economics, Nina Lopez-Burrows. In 4, representing Oxford University, Katie Hanley. In 5, representing Wolverhampton University, Jordan Hall. In 6, from Glasgow University, Lara Bardelli. In 7, representing Leeds University, Anna Short. And in 8, completing the lineup from the University of Chester at Chester, Heather Miller. In 5-10, women's 60 metres.
Heat 5 of 10 in the women's 60 metres from Hertfordshire. Paige Fairclough goes in 1. Sheffield Hallam's Ella Blakey in 2. Nina Lopez-Urroz from London School of Economics in 3. Katie Hanawin, Oxford in 4. Jordan Hall, Wolverhampton in 5. Lara Bardelli, Glasgow in 6. From Leeds, Anna Short in 7. And from Chester, Heather Miller goes in lane 8. Yvette Westwood 7.60, still the benchmark time. Top 24 by time go through to the latter stages of this women's 60 metres. And Heat 5 does not get away first time. That's a second gun. Ella Blakey, should I say, from Sheffield Hallam in lane 2. She stood straight up. All of those outside her continued, so is Blakey the guilty party? All eyes on the starters in the red. We had 5 second guns in the men's, but only 1 was disqualified. Lots of yellow cards, but there's a red, and it was Ella Blakey. I think she knew from the moment she left the blocks, and that is her day over in the 60 metres competition. So now Paige Fairclough will be in lane 1 with nobody directly to her right. Nina Lopez-Urroz in 3. That's the first false start of the women's competition. 4 heats got away first time. But now we'll reset for Heat 5. Paige Fairclough in 1. Blakey disqualified, so 2 is empty. Lopez-Urroz in 3. Hanawin 4. Hall 5. Bardelli 6. Short 7. Miller 8. And we do get away this time, and it's Fairclough off to a great start despite being out there on her own. She's going to romp home here. It's a good run in lane 7 from Anna Short, but 7.60, equaling the fastest time we've had in qualification. Paige Fairclough books her place in the next round. I think Heather Miller might be there or thereabouts as well, as will Anna Short from Leeds. But no doubt about who took heat number 5. Paige Fairclough stops the clock in 7.60.
And in the triple jump, Jeff Leader, Harney Beck, jumps 13.71.
See there, like, crystal, spikes, all right. Really stay low.
In heat 6, in lane 1 from University of Sheffield.
5 heats down, 5 to go in the women's 60-metre preliminaries. Heat 6, they line up as follows. In lane 1, racing for Chester, Brianna Cook from Birmingham City. In lane 2, Jazz Crawford from Nottingham. In 3, Hayley Mills. Imogen Cook goes in the colours of St Mary's in the middle in lane 4. From Sussex in 5 is Alice Dungworth. Cambridge's Gabby Craft goes in 6. From Glasgow, Amy McKinley goes in 7. And lane 8 is empty. So Yvette Westwood and Paige Fairclough have both gone in 7.60 so far. Heat 2 was won in 7.72 by Jasmine Moss. It was 7.65 for Hannah Williams in 3 and 7.91 for Lucy Hode, the slowest of the winning times, but she was the comfortable victor in heat number 4. This is heat 6, bang on the halfway point of this women's 60-metre preliminary. And we do get away first time this time. And what a start in lane 3 from Hayley Mills. She is flying home. Next to her is Jazz Crawford, but you can hardly say next to her. Such was the difference in quality. 7.41 for Mills, taking nearly 0.2 of a second off that benchmark time. And Nottingham's Hayley Mills qualifies with authority and posts the fastest time of the day, 7.41, to qualify for the next round of the women's 60 metres.
Absolutely tremendous form, because her lifetime best dates on those World Championships in 2013 stands at 7.31, exactly the same time as the championship record.
And a few moments ago we saw Ashley Buckman automatically qualifying with 14.08 on the triple jump.
But while we wait for the next heat of the women's competition, I've got confirmation of the qualifiers in the men's. Kessie Oladui 7.04 and Jordan Gill 7.13 qualified from heat 1. 6.88 for Michael Olsen and 7.05 for Jack Major were enough to qualify in heat 2. There are 3 qualifiers in heat 3. Keno Elliott, Paris Samuel, James Walden and Sean Crowey. Just 0.05 of a second separated them. Well, now we'll come back to those results after we introduce the runners in Heat 7 of the women's competition. Ailey Brown from Stirling goes in lane 1. Emma Devine, Strathclyde in 2. Ash Colvin from Liverpool John Moores goes in 3. Gina Akpe-Moses from East London in 4. Laureen Pividal from Hertfordshire will go in lane 5. Next to her in 6 is Sarah Long from West of England. Racing for Bath in 7 is Elena Billsland. In lane 8, Megan Rowe from Leicester. So a full house in heat number 7 while they get set. Let's continue to run you through the qualifiers in the men's competition. Nicholas Walsh and Mahmoud Barry qualified from Heat 4. Oliver Bromby in Heat 5 went just under 7 seconds, 6.97 for him. Eamon Mead and Dan Banks joining him, so 3 qualifiers there. Eden Davis and Matthew Johnson qualified out of Heat 6, 6.91. So at this stage, Michael Olsen 6.88 still that benchmark time, that fastest time. Brandon Murray and John Adiji Johnson qualified out of 7. There was nothing in it for Heat 8. Daniel Oderindi and Regan O'Connell, 6.95 and 6.96. Then Christian Jones, the Loughborough compatriot of Michael Olsen, went in 6.9, joined by Leathard and Matsuka Williams. Toby Adiaye, Max Heavens and Cassina Ogori qualifying in just over 7 seconds. And then Nicholas Price, the only man to qualify out of Heat 11, and Jonah Efaloku qualifying out of Heat 12. So the fastest qualification time, 6.88 for Michael Olsen, but expect plenty to come off that as we get into the semis and the finals later on today. But now we turn our attention back to the women's competition. This is Heat 7 in the women's 60 metres preliminaries. So no lane 2 in this one. Emma Devine from Strathclyde will not start. So Ailey Brown from Stirling, all on her own there in lane number 1. But Ash Colvin has got a good start, as is Akpe-Moses. Gina Akpe-Moses from East London, 7.48 for her. And once she got going, she left Ash Colvin and Laureen Pividal in her wake, and she goes under 7.5. Gina Akpe-Moses, 7.48, takes Heat 7.
Please go to registration. The meeting manager would like to speak to you.
Thank you, Sandra. 7.4 confirmed. Well, that sits very nicely with the 7.45 that Gina Akpe-Moses recorded on the 1st of February. So she comes into these championships in tremendous form.
Well, registration will be closed from 90 minutes before it. And then it should be up within 15 minutes.
Well, Gina Akpe-Moses ran 7.45 in February, 7.48 here today. Looking like she's got some left in the tank too. Hayley Mills has clocked 7.41. Those two, the quickest of the day by some distance. Yvette Westwood posted 7.6, as did Paige Fairclough, and Williams and Shokunbi 7.65 as well. So this is shaping up to be a fantastic contest today. 3 heats to go before we move into the hurdles. So let's introduce you to the racers going in Heat 8. In lane 1, Running for Robert Gordon, Rebecca Matheson. From Aberdeen in 2, Sharon Jakisa. From Loughborough, Alicia Rees goes in lane 3. Janira Costa from Middlesex goes in 4. From Winchester in 5 is Sarah Smith. Laura Bevington from Durham goes in 6. In 7, it's Megan Pilley from Liverpool John Moores. And from King's College in lane 8, Amy Matt.
Metre and 200 metre Scottish University's title last weekend. Rebecca Matheson in 1. In 2, representing Aberdeen, Sharon Jakisa. Then in lane 3, representing Loughborough, a GB under-20 international, World Junior 4x100 metre bronze medalist last year, and World Junior 200 metre semi-finalist, Alicia Rees. In lane 5, representing Winchester, Sarah Smith. In 6, from Durham University, Laura Bevington. In 7, from Liverpool John Moores, Megan Pilley. In 8, from King's College, London, Amy Matt. Heat 8 of 10, winning 16.
Well, not quite. In terms of the lanes,
This is heat number 8. Matheson in 1, Jakisa 2, Rees 3, Costa 4, Smith 5, Bevington 6, Pilley 7, Matt in 8. Lane 4 is empty in this one, so no Janira Costa. So there's a gap between Rees in 3, Smith in 5. Haley Mills of Nottingham with the fastest time so far, and there's a couple of good starts on the flanks, but coming through is Alicia Rees from Loughborough, 7.49. Another athlete under the 7.5 second. That seems to be the magic marker so far, and Alicia Rees joins Gina Akpe-Moses and Haley Mills in the 7.4 something bracket. And there is Alicia Rees, takes heat 8 in a provisional time of 7.49 seconds for the Loughborough athlete.
.49 confirmed.
I now have got the definitive athletes for the next 60 metres progressing to the next round. Kessie Adori, Joe Gill, Michael Olsen, Jack Major, Tino Elliott Harris Samuel, James Walden, Sean Curry, Nicholas Walls, Mohammed Barry, Oliver Brockey, Ina Mead and Dan Banks, Ian James, Matthew Johnston, Brandon Murray, John Eliaji Johnston, Daniel Overuke, Ethan O'Connell, Christian Jones, Jessica Letter, Ben Asuka Williams, Zoe O'Leary, and Sarah.
Athletes out for the penultimate heat of the women's 60 metres. And speaking of heat, it's been turned up in the last 3. 3 athletes going under 7.5 seconds. Haley Mills, the quickest from Nottingham. Gina Akpe-Moses, 7.48 second. And Alicia Rees of Loughborough, 7.49 third in these qualifiers. Racing in this one. Over in lane 1 from Cardiff Met, Catherine Hardy. From University Central Lancashire in 2, it's Takia Brownlow. Sophie Segan of Worcester goes in 3. Olivia Haynes Lancaster 4. Marie Tariwali from King's College in 5. Taylor Spence, Robert Gordon in 6. Shannon Malone from Loughborough will go in lane 7. And in lane 8 from Hull, Brodie Jones.
The lineup for his ninth heat of the 10. In lane 1, representing Cardiff Net, Catherine Hardy. In 2, from University of Central Lancashire, Tequila Brownlow. In 3, from Worcester University, Sophie Saban. In 4, representing Lancaster University, Olivia Haynes. In lane 5, from Kingston College London, Marie Taylor. In 6, from Robert Jordan University, Claire Spence. In 7, representing Loughborough, Shannon Malone. And in lane 8, from University of Hull, Brody Jones. And I've just received confirmation.
Receiving confirmation that Olivia Haynes from Lancaster will not go in Heat 9. It's the third time lane 4's been empty in this women's competition. So Hardy in 1, Brownlow 2, Segan 3, 4 is empty, Tariwali 5, Spence 6, Malone 7, Jones 8. Athletes called to the start line for heat number 9, the penultimate heat in the women's 60 metres. Top 24 going through by time. Hayley Mills still the fastest, 7.41. 0.1 seconds off the championship record set by Montel Douglas back in 2007. No Olivia Haynes in lane 4. And we are away first time. Good start by Sophie Segan, but coming through in lane 7, Shannon Malone from Loughborough. And 7.51, just outside that 7.5, but that's the 4th quickest time we've had so far. Malone there in the African Violet of Loughborough University, wearing 1354. That'll almost definitely be enough to book her place in the top 24. If not, one of the seeded places. All in all, Shannon Malone takes heat number 9, 7.51.
Well, in his 10th and final heat, athlete in lane 5, 163, Andrea Goodman, Edinburgh TNS. Part 3 is skating. From 5 is athlete 208 Ella Blakey, Sheffield, Hallam. So in lane 5 is Ella Blakey, Sheffield, Hallam. In lane 1, representing Cardiff next. Well, it's terrific to welcome her back to the BUCS Championships. A medalist on numerous occasions over 60, 100 and 200. Our first commentating on her in the Olympic Games Stadium in 2012. From track to bobsleigh to track, we welcome back Mika Moore. In lane 2 for Sheffield, Emily Warner. In 3, representing Bristol, Isabel Marshall. In 4, representing Clive and Silcock. And in lane 5, as I said, Blakey, Sheffield, Hallam. In 6, from Bedfordshire University, Mia Chapman. And completing the lineup from Nottingham University in lane 7, Rebecca Hall.
Well, an interesting one for the final heat. Mika Moore from Cardiff Met goes in 1, Horning Sheffield 2, Marshall Bristol 3, Silcock Cardiff in 4. Ella Blakey, who was disqualified in the previous heat, gets another bite at the cherry in the colours of Sheffield Hallam in 5. Mia Chapman of Bedfordshire goes in 6. Rebecca Hall, Nottingham in 7. Hall's compatriot Hayley Mills from Nottingham University is currently the fastest time of 7.41 seconds. The top 24 qualify. Oh, and with that, Emily Horning puts her hands on her head. That's a false start, an obvious false start in lane 2. What will be the decision here? Emily Horning of Sheffield, the local athlete, she will know this as well as anybody, but she's got away with them there. The green card is shown. No yellow, no red. And all 7 athletes will get to run this final heat. Again, Mika Moore, Cardiff Met in 1, Emily Horning, Sheffield in 2, Isabel Marshall, Bristol 3, Silcock, Cardiff 4, Blakey, Sheffield, Hallam 5, Chapman, Bedfordshire 6, Hall, Nottingham 7. And we do get away this time. Brilliant start in the middle, and Mika Moore from Cardiff Met as well. Mika Moore out there on her own in lane number 1, 7.62. A full 0.2 seconds ahead of Hayley Mills, but a comfortable qualification time for Mika Moore, the archer from Cardiff Met. Finishes this one in style, and she will definitely be in the final 24. But who will be joining her? Provisionally the fastest time still Hayley Mills, Akpe Moses and Reese under 7.5 seconds. But Mika Moore 1.342 from Cardiff Metropolitan, 7.62. A great finish to the preliminary rounds of the women's sprint. The next round of the women's sprint competition will be this evening at 5 to 6. Next, we've got a short break before we move on to the heats of the men's 60-metre hurdles.
Qualification for the 4 heats of the men's 60-metre hurdles.
This is the BUCS Indoor Championships 2019. That draws a conclusion to the heats of the 60-metre competition. We've had the men's and the women's. We'll have the women's qualifiers for you shortly. But next we move into the 60-metre hurdles. 5 heats in both the men's and the women's competitions. And that is scheduled to start in around about 10 minutes' time. They'll just set out the hurdles. In the meantime, we'd like to say thank you to our official partners, Cookery, Outgoing, Camp America and Ashaway, for their continued support. And we'll be back with the BUCS National Indoor Championships in around about 10 minutes' time. Welcome back to the BUCS National Indoors. You join us ahead of the men's 60-metre hurdle qualification. The winner of each heat will go through to the final, plus the next best 4 times. So the competition is hot to trot here at the English Institute of Sport. We've already had the 60-metre qualifiers in men's and women's, as well as the ambulant competition. .60 metres the indoor distance. So 5 hurdles plus the sprint for the finish. One every 10 metres. And racing in heat number 1 from Middlesex, Edson Gomez. From East Anglia into is Liam Hunt. Kieran Gillespie from Leeds Beckett goes in 3. Shorsha Chinnery Edu from East London goes in 4. Jake Porter Birmingham in 5. Io Byron Coventry in 6. Roberto Paoluzzi of Sheffield goes in 7. And there will be no lane 8.
In 4 from the University of East London, and in lane 5, and it's a pleasure and a privilege once again to welcome to the EIS and the BUCS Championships, representing Birmingham University, whose 4th UK Championships last weekend and ran 7.88 to equal his season's best. 3 times for BUCS 60-metre hurdles champion, seeking his 4th title, Jake Porter. In lane 6, representing Coventry University, Io Byron. And completing the lineup in lane 7 from Sheffield University, Roberto Paoluzzi. Heat 1 of 4 men's 60-metre hurdles.
The winner guarantees themselves a place in the final. 4 heats in total, and the next 4 best times. So whereas the sprinters have to go through a semi-final to race for the medals, it's just 2 races for the winner, the silver and the bronze medalist of the hurdles. Gomez, Middlesex in lane 1, furthest away from us. Hunt, East Anglia in 2. Gillespie, Leeds Beckett 3. Chinnery Edu, East London in 4. Porter, Birmingham 5. Byron, Coventry 6. Paoluzzi, Sheffield 7. I was about to say away first time, but a late gun, and we'll have to reset. Jake Porter from Birmingham making a mess of the first hurdle. But we will come back to the start. The judges have been pretty lenient with these false starts so far. We've had a couple of disqualifications. One was a reinstatement, a couple of yellow cards, but mostly just green cards. There's actually Io Byron from Coventry who went all the way through the first hurdle. Just out of your shot. There are some officials just checking that the hurdles are back in position. It's a precise art. But yes, the green card comes out once again. There is no guilty party. And we will reset heat 1. Edson Gomez from Middlesex in lane 1. Liam Hunt, East Anglia in 2. Kieran Gillespie, Leeds Beckett 3. Shorsha Chinnery Edu, East London 4. Jake Porter, Birmingham 5. Io Byron, Coventry 6. Roberto And we do get away this time. Porter from Birmingham has had a good start, taking it away from Edson Gomez off Middlesex. It will be Porter. Stops the clock in 7.91 for Jake Porter. That'll be the benchmark time. Edson Gomez in second place. But will his time be quick enough to qualify for the final? Jake Porter's, well, he automatically goes through as the winner of heat number 1.
Well, there's a highly competitive heat 2 prospect. I'll take you through the lineup in just one moment. So in this second heat, in lane 1, representing Newcastle University.
This the second heat of the men's 60-metre hurdles. Furthest away in 1, running for Newcastle, is Will Seed. Matthew Chung goes in that silky blue and purple of Coventry in lane 2. Harry Hillman of Brunel goes in lane 3. In lane 4, Sam Talbot from Sheffield. In lane 5, Jason Nicholson from Northumbria. Kai Riley Laborde from East London goes in 6, and Alexander Griffiths from Exeter goes in lane 7 in heat 2 of the men's 60-metre hurdles qualification.
Jason Nicholson in lane 6 from the University of East Anglia. The reigning BUCS 110-metre hurdles champion, second at this year's Southern Championships, and third last weekend at the British Athletics Championships, Kai Riley Laborde. And in lane 7 from Exeter University, Alex Griffiths. He's 2 off 4 in 60-metre hurdles, and remember, the qualification is to the final. The winner plus the next 4 passes from across the 4 heats.
Well, who will join Jake Porter in the final of the men's 60-metre hurdles? Kai Riley Laborde, an obvious favourite. He's tasted BUCS success in the past over 110 metres. Can he transfer that to the indoor stage here? He is in lane 6, running for East London in the blue vest, blue shoes, black shorts. 7.91 was the benchmark time set by Jake Porter. As the athletes take the blocks for heat 2. Seed in 1, Chung 2, Hillman 3, Talbot 4, Nicholson 5, Riley Laborde 6, Griffiths 7. Away first time, this time Laborde off quickly, but you can throw a blanket over them in the middle. We've had somebody pull up, it's Griffiths from Exeter, but Riley Laborde 8 flat, but cruised over the final 10 metres or so. Alexander Griffiths did not finish, but Kai Riley Laborde in 8.00 takes heat 2 and looks comfortable.
So, Kai Riley Laborde, University of East London.
Kai Riley Laborde. Excellent race from him, particularly when it was so close inside him. Hillman, Talbot, Nicholson, all neck and neck in the middle, but he kept his cool. And then Griffiths pulled up alongside him as well. Looked like a hamstring, hopefully. It's just a little twinge for Griffiths, but his hurdles day is over. But it's just beginning for these athletes. Lining up in Heat 3, Darren Meeklin, Nottingham, goes in 1. In 2, Lewis Guest from Liverpool, William Ritchie Moulin from Durham in 3, George Orton from Warwick goes in lane 4, Howard Bell, Edinburgh in 5, and Shamindra Pereira from Loughborough goes in lane 6. The winner of this race will join Jake Porter and Kai Riley on the board and guaranteeing their place in the final. Remember, there are 4 best time slots up for grabs as well.
And so for the third, 4 hits, the 6 athletes, I believe, in this case. And 6 athletes out on the track. In lane 1, representing Nottingham University, Cameron. In lane 2, from Liverpool University, Lewis Guest. Then in lane 3, representing Durham University, ran a lifetime best at the start of February of 8.10. The bronze medalist here last year, William Ritchie Moulin. In lane 4, representing Warwick University, George Orton. In lane 5, representing Edinburgh University, Howard Bell. And in lane 6, representing Loughborough University, he reached the final at last weekend's British Athletics Championships. The 2018 silver medalist, Miguel Pereira.
Go, Miguel!
Heat 3 of 4, men's 60-metre hurdles.
The whistle goes. Ahead of Heat 3, Darren Meeklin, Nottingham in 1, Lewis Guest, Liverpool 2, William Ritchie Moulin, Durham 3, George Orton, Warwick 4, Howard Bell, Edinburgh 5, Shamindra Pereira, Loughborough 6. And we do get away first time, and Pereira from Loughborough gets a great start, but going well. Ritchie Moulin from Durham. Pereira's going to take this one though, and it's under 8 seconds, 7.9 provisionally. The quickest qualification time, 0.01 faster than Jake Porter, and Shamindra Pereira sets the new benchmark time. But most importantly for him, books his place in the BUCS final. 3 heats down, 1 to go. Thumbs up. Yes, Shamindra, you're the quickest. Well played. 7.90 for Shamindra Pereira. Books his place in the final. Six athletes remain. Heat 4 of 4 in the 60 hurdles preliminaries. Lining up for Exeter in lane 1 is Stefan Frost. For Cardiff Met is Justin Tarrant. He'll go in lane 2. Ethan Akani from Loughborough. Looking to emulate the success of Shamindra Pereira in the previous heat. He goes in lane 3. From Leeds Beckett in 4 is Jack Major. Newcastle's Liam Reveley goes in 5, and Brunel's Daniel Ryan goes in lane 6.
And so, the fourth and final heat, in lane 1 from Exeter University, Stephen Frost. In 2, representing Cardiff Met, Justin Tarrant. In 3, representing Loughborough, Ethan Buchanan. In 4, representing Leeds Beckett, Jack Major. In 5, from Newcastle University, Liam Reveley. And completing the lineup, representing Brunel University, the 2017 Irish Under-19 and Irish Under-20 champion, Cameron. Heat 4 of 4, men's 60-metre hurdles.
Notes board down there. You know the score for me. You know the different amounts of time.
7.90, the fastest qualification time so far. That was Shemindra Pereira in Heat 3. It was 7.91 for Jake Porter. Kai Riley Laborde ran 8 flat, but boy, oh boy, did he make it look easy. He's going to take some beating. Who will be joining those three in the final? Frost in 1, Tarrant in 2, Akani 3, Major 4, Reveley 5, Ryan 6. Heat 4 of the 60-metre hurdles. Again, we've got a false start. Ethan Akani from Loughborough didn't even get out of the blocks. The other 5 are away. We've had a few too many of these. I wonder if there is a problem with the starting blocks as opposed to a problem with the athletes. Last into position is Justin Tarrant, the Cardiff Met archer. Is he last in position by way of process or by way of guilt? There's an official just out of shot. Look how relaxed Ethan Akani looks. It is interesting the way he didn't get out of the blocks. The official just reaching into their folder. What colour is the card going to be? It's green. It's a green card. No disqualification, and we'll reset Heat 4. And we are away first time. This time Leeds Beckett's Jack Major gets away quickly, but Ethan Akani coming through for Loughborough. It's a strong second part of the race, and Akani takes it 8.17. It's the slowest qualification time, and Akani had to work quite hard for that. Jack Major pushed him all of the way and threw himself to the line, did Major as well, knowing he wasn't going to win the race, but the qualification time was still up for grabs. But Ethan Akani joins Shemindra Pereira, so there'll be at least 2 Loughborough in the final. Kia Riley Laborde from East London in 8 flat, and Jake Porter from Birmingham 7.91 guarantee qualification, and the 4 best times behind them will be joining them in the final.
So the hurdles will now be reset for the 4 heats of the women's 60-metre hurdles.
Getting cold, are we? Yeah.
He's a lot younger than me.
Right, listen up please, and I apologise for an error I made. The final of the men's and women's 60-metre hurdles will be at semi-final time. At 18:10 and 18:25. So the 2 minutes we lose, which may mean I get my supper early, are T16 and T17. Competitors in the women's 60-metre hurdles, please report to the ballroom. Women's 60-metre hurdles, to the ballroom, please. About 5 to 6 minutes to the first of the 4 heats in 16 hurdles. So time for another commercial. Camp America. Well, they are present at Forge and at the Climb venue. And I'm told they have some great freebies to give away. They are giving BUCS national competitors the chance to win a free holiday around the USA. They're also giving away free t-shirts and free sweets. And they're looking to recruit strong swimmers, climbers and school students to spend, as they say, the summer of their lives working on some of the best camps in the USA, from New York to California. If you're around Forge or at Flying Venues.
Welcome back to Sheffield. It is the EIS, it is the BUCS Indoor Championships. It is day 1 of 3. And we're just waiting for the women's 60-metre hurdles. It's a day of sprints today, and we'll be taking you all the way through to the climax. Great crowd here, actually. There's a little bit of a lull in the energy while we wait for the next athletes to take the track. But they've turned out in force here in their university colours to support some of the best and brightest. So don't let these relaxed pictures fool you. They've made plenty of noise. They've shown plenty of support for everybody who's been on the track today. But yes, all of our concentration has been on that middle strip, the 60 metres. We've had some great times in both the men's and women's. We've just finished the qualifiers for the men's 60 hurdles. And there is the Brains Trust. The officials have done a great job so far today. There have been a few false starts. We haven't got to the bottom as to why. But there's been 2 disqualifications. One's been reinstated. So they are firm but fair, the BUCS officials here. We've got some of them, not just at these BUCS championships, performing on a world level as well. Anniversary Games experience, World Championships experience. They've all been all around Europe, and in many cases even further. Of course, this BUCS meet is of a very high standard. Got some fantastic athletes here. Interestingly, the championship record for the women's 60-metre hurdles is 8.22. That was set in 2017 by Yasmin Miller, running for London South Bank. And we all look forward to the usual suspects running here. Just looking down, we've got Durham, Sheffield, Hallam, Oxford, Trent, Birmingham, Bath, St Mary's, Cardiff. They've come from far and wide. From Glasgow, Caledonian, all the way down to Exeter. Got some Aberdeen as well. They've made the journey to Sheffield. Fantastic sporting city, Sheffield. Of course, famous for Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, but we've got the English Institute of Sport here. We've got Ponds Forge. Used to have a fantastic outdoor athletic stadium, the Don Valley. Unfortunately, that's one of them that's bitten the dust over the years, but still they come from far and wide to compete here. And we've had some great action already on day one of the BUCS Indoor Championships 2019. Just part of an increasingly busy BUCS schedule, actually. In a couple of weeks' time, we've got BUCS Big Wednesday, even more finals. And in terms of blue ribbon events, we've got the BUCS Super Rugby final in April. That'll be at Twickenham. Last year's men's and women's final, two of the best rugby matches you'll see anywhere, let alone at university level. Exeter victorious in the women's, Hartbury victorious in the men's. But all of our concentration today is on the athletics. And thank you very much for joining us wherever you are in the world. In terms of the BUCS Nationals, all of the competitions over this weekend are indoors. So we've got athletics and swimming, but we've also got badminton, fencing, judo, karate, climbing and rifle. So a huge array of sports. 8 sports across 6 venues. There'll also be complete live streaming of the swimming from Ponds Forge as well over Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So make sure that you flick over to have a look at that as well. But we're glad you could join us for the athletics. The next competition on the track is the first heat of the women's 60-metre hurdles competition. The winner of each heat and then the next best 4 times will qualify for the finals.
So the winning out for the first of the 4 heats, 60-metre hurdles, and in lane 1, representing Durham University, will be Molly Stazika. In lane 2, representing Sheffield Hallam, she's the reigning UK 100-metre hurdles champion, reached the final at the Commonwealth Games last year, 4th at the British Championships last weekend, Alicia Barrett from Oxford University.
Well, let's welcome the racers to the start line for heat number 1. Remember, just the winner going through. And there are 8 racers, well, should I say just the winner guaranteeing passage to the final. And then there are 4 times up for grabs as well. And 8 racers in each of these heats as well. Big competition. Molly Stazika from Durham goes in 1. Alicia Barrett, Sheffield Hallam in 2. Alice Seamark, Oxford in 3. Cleona Perkins goes for Nottingham Trent in 4. Alina Bohm from Birmingham in 5, Georgia Silcox of Bath in 6, Simone Baxter, St Mary's in 7, and from Cardiff, Lauren Evans goes in lane 8. Heat 1 of 4 in the women's 60-metre hurdles.
That's the line. The first of 4 heats with 60-metre hurdles. So 13 metres for our first part of the hurdles, 8.5 in between, and then the dash to the line over the final 13 metres. The UK under-20 record holder, Leslie Barrett, in 2.
Away we go, first time. It's an excellent start from Barrett from Hallam in lane 2, and she's continued that excellent start, and she will book her place in the final. Alicia Barrett, 8.74. That'll be the benchmark time, but the time not too important for her, because that is automatic qualification for Alicia Barrett. She's on the left-hand side of your screen there, going across to shake hands. And she books her place in that final. 8.61 for Alicia Barrett. Well, I'm receiving news that that's actually been rounded down to 8.48 for Barrett. So under 8.5 seconds. Great start for her. But lining up now are the racers in Heat 2. Erin Campbell goes in lane 1 for Glasgow Caledonian. Lining up alongside her from Kingston, Anastasia Davis. Claudia Carlian-Moores from Warwick goes in 3. From Cardiff in 4 is Sophie Hay. Leela Legree from Oxford goes in 5. And in 6 from Brunel, Emily Russell. Lisa Aspel from Robert Gordon goes in 7. And from Bedfordshire in 8, Jessica Hunter.
Second of Southern Championships this year, and the reigning England under-20 champion, Anastasia Davis. In 3 from Warwick University, Claudia Carlian-Moores. In 4, representing Cardiff University. Third at the recent World Championships, Sophie Hay. In lane 5 from Oxford University, Leila Lewis. In 6, representing Brunel University. Third at Southern Under-20 Championships this year, Emily Russell. In lane 7, representing Robert Gordon, Lisa Aspel, and completing the lineup. In lane 8, third at the recent Southern Senior Championships, the reigning England under-23 100-metre world champion, representing Bedfordshire University, Jess Hunter.
We are an athlete short in this one. Leela Legree from Oxford does not go in lane 5. So a quick rundown of the athletes again. Erin Campbell, Glasgow Caledonian in 1. Anastasia Davis, Kingston 2. Claudia Carlian-Moores, Warwick 3. Sophie Hay, Cardiff in 4. Lane 5 is empty. Emily Russell of Brunel goes in 6. Lisa Aspel, Robert Gordon 7. And Jessica Hunter of Bedfordshire goes in lane 8. And we do get away first time, and Sophie Hay from Cardiff's got off to a great start, as has Anastasia Davis from Kingston. But Davis has continued it. A late flourish there from Hunter of Bedfordshire. But Anastasia Davis of Kingston stops the clock in 8:39. 2:45. Anastasia Davis of Kingston just at the bottom of your screens there. All smiles for her. Hunter of Bedfordshire had a great finish. That might be enough to qualify. Remember, just the winner guaranteed a position in the final. And then we have the 4 times underneath those top 4 will be joining them in the medal race. But now on your screens are the racers in Heat 3 from Loughborough in lane 1. Megan Mars, Amy Hodgson, Sheffield Hallam goes in 2. Ogubimi Popo from Bath in 3. Ella Johnson, Nottingham 4. Molly Newton-O'Brien, Cardiff Met 5. Bethany McAndrew, Edinburgh 6. Joanna Hajianu of Sheffield in 7. Lucy Turner, Northumbria in lane 8.
GB International. She represented GB at last year's World Championships. She's the reigning BUCS 100 metre hurdles champion. She finished first at this varsity match in lane 1. Megan Mars in lane 2 from Sheffield Hallam. Finalist here last year, second at this year's World Championships. Amy Hodgson in lane 3 from Bath University. Ogubemi Popo in 4 representing Nottingham University. Ella Johnson in 5 representing Cardiff Met. Molly Newton-O'Brien in 6 representing Edinburgh University. Bethany McAndrew in 7 representing Sheffield University. Joanna Hajianu, and in lane 8 representing Northumbria University. GB combined event international. She competed in the recent indoor international in Cardiff. England indoor combined events bronze medals. Lucy Turner, Heat 3 of 4, wins 60 metre hurdles.
Heat 3, all 8 in position. Megan Mars goes for Loughborough in lane 1. Sheffield Hallam's Amy Hodgson in 2. Ogubeni Popo of Bath in 3. Ella Johnson, Nottingham 4. Molly Newton-O'Brien, Cardiff Met 5. Bethany McAndrew, Edinburgh 6. Joanna Hajianu of Sheffield in 7. And Lucy Turner, Northumbria in lane 8. Just the winner goes through, and in lane 8, Lucy Turner's had a great start. It's between her and Megan Mars at the moment, but Amy Hodgson coming through. Oh, you could throw a blanket over 1, 2 and 3. And to think we could be losing 2 of those given the times, any one of them could have thought they'd taken that one. Mars, Hodgson and Turner. Mars and Hodgson in 1 and 2, Turner in 8. The clock has stopped in 8:65. And it'll be a nervous wait for all of them. Just the winner guaranteeing qualification. And then the top 4 times, the closest, the best race we've had so far. 8:65, not the fastest though. That's still Anastasia Davis, 8:39 in the previous heat. That's 3 down, 1 to go.
Carrying the board is Newton, Sam Salvert, Sheffield, Jason Nicholson, Northumbria, Jake Porter, Birmingham, and Hudson Gomez, Legacies.
And so to the 4th and final heat. And in lane 1. And it's a pleasure to welcome her here to our first class championships. From the United States, The Atlantic Sun Conference bronze medalist last year in a lifetime best of 8.74.
The final heat of the session then, before we move on to the 800-metre men's competition that starts at 4:15.
The reigning England indoor under 20 combined events champion. She competed in
Still not received confirmation of who won Heat 3. Incredibly close between Mars, Hodgson and Turner. But Barrett, no doubt about it, she took Heat number 1 and Anastasia Davis took Heat number 2. If you are just joining us, a very warm welcome indeed to the BUCS Indoor Athletics Championships. This is day 1, and you've already missed the 60-metre men's, women's and ambulant men's qualification. The semi-finals will begin at 5:30, but we've got heats of the 800 metres to come before that. This is the final race of this session, however. There'll be a 15-minute break afterwards, and it is Heat 4 of 4 in the women's 60 hurdles. The winner goes through. The rest have to hope that their time is quick enough to qualify them for one of 4 remaining spots. Kennedy Holton from East London goes in lane 1, furthest away from us. Holly Mills of Brunel in West London goes in 2. Paige Mathers, Newcastle in 3. Molly Courtney, Gloucestershire 4. Laura Robertson, Stirling in 5. Jodie Bainan of Cardiff Met in 6. Ellen Barber of Loughborough in 7. And Alice Lineker of Birmingham goes in lane 8. And away first time in the final heat. Molly Courtney off to an absolute flyer in lane 4. Holly Mills trying to go with her, but Molly Courtney cruises home in 8:45. The fastest qualification time. She stops the clock. Got pretty aggressive up against that finishing bollard as well, but Molly Courtney of Gloucestershire setting the precedent. 8:45 the clock has been amended to, but that is our fastest time, and she will definitely be in the final as we await confirmation of who will join her. Well, that ends this current session. We've had qualification in the 60 metres and 60 hurdles for men's and women's. We'll be back in around about 15 minutes time with the 800-metre men's heats, followed by the 800-metre women's. Thank you for joining us here at the English Institute of Sport for the first session on day 1 of the BUCS Indoor Championships 2019.
Followed by the 192. And we're using 2 boards for the podium, the 9-metre and the 11-metre board. The automatic qualification is 11 metres 85. After we see the race, we are using the 7-metre or the 9-metre or the 11-metre board. We have the 9-metre board at the moment.